All right. So welcome everyone. We're going to be doing Thai massage today. Before you do any sort of body work, it's nice to get your body a little bit warmed up and the energy flowing. So starting off, pushing side to side with the feet. That'll turn your hips, turn spine, arms follow. Starting off with a small motion. As you feel more connected to the ground and start to push a little bit firmer with your legs, the arms will swing bigger, harvesting the energy. Starting to slow it down. Pick up your right foot. Place it gently in front of you, slightly outturned. All the weight is in your back foot. Fingertips come close, directly across from your heart center. Inhaling energy up through the legs, through Mother Earth. Exhale out through the fingers, feeling it connect to your heart. And everyone pick up their front side. Just to check in, there's no weight in it, just for balance. Return to the ground. Or your weight over the front foot, release the arms, step through other side. Energy in the leg with the inhale. Energy through the palms with your exhale. Stepping through. Right foot comes forward. It's like a tiny warrior one stand. Right hand on top, over the front leg. Switch. Left hand on top, weight to the back. Dragging the fingertips through the water. Again, feeling how the shift in your legs turns your hips, arms follow. And next time you come to your front leg, we're going to step through tiny warrior one the other way. Right hand on top when right leg is forward. Left hand comes to the top of over your left. Tapping feet together. Hip lift. Cross below the wrist. Inhale energy up the leg. Exhale, hugging that energy in your arm. Release the arms. We're going to start wiggling toes. Add the ankles. Knees. Add the hips. Add the belly. Add the shoulders. Add the arms. Add the head. Raise up onto your toes. Drop the hips. Again, raise up onto the toes. Drop the hips. Wiggling toes. Wiggling ankles. Add the knees. Add the hips. Add the stomach. Add the shoulders. Add the arms. Add the head. Up onto toes. Drop the hips. Up on the toes. Drop. Inhale, you bend with wrists rise. Exhale, energy out the fingers, straighten the knees. Inhale, knees bend, arms bend. Exhale, push the energy back down. Bending energy up with the inhale. Exhale out through the fingertips. Back in towards you. Exhale, push the leg. Keep going at your own pace. Next time you push energy to the ground, come to stillness. Let your hands relax and feel the energy pulsing through your body. And that energy and that flow is where all your power comes from in Thai massage. You'll carry that energy to your mat as you find a partner.
did you do it?
All right. So I'm going to show, we're going to be working on a prone sequence today. So we're going to be working face down. We'll start off with a leg sequence. Do it, change, then move the upper body, do it, switch. If there's time, put it all together. Cool? So, again, important to massage before you touch a person, ground yourself. Let's start touching and connecting with your breath. The rhythm of Thai massage is very oceanic. So it's boom, 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 boom. Just doing knuckles into feet feels good. Press your way up the back of the legs, keeping in mind that there are two heads of the calf muscle. Put the heel of your hand between them and roll the muscle away from the bone. Don't push on knees. You can circle or holding is nice as well. Same thing. As you move up the thighs, your body weight comes over your arms, so it's very lazy. Come right into hamstring attachment. Work your way back down. Magic number in Thai massage is 3. So you're up, down, all the way through to the feet. Once you get to the upper hip attachment, it's nice first thing just to say hello to the back body. This is where we're going to be working, and then we'll come down and kind of focus more. So you can either palm press into the glutes, stay on the outsides. You can also stand over top, whichever is more comfortable, and use little monkey knuckles. This way is nice because then it tractions the low back as well. So you're pulling the flesh away from the pelvis, pulling low back a little bit out of its lumbar curve. Using butterfly hands, softer pressure in the squishy low back where the organs are exposed and where the floating ribs are. As you work your way up onto the rib cage, it can be a little firmer, but remember, we're just saying hi. We're not doing deep work. When you get up to the upper thoracic spine, it's going to be hard to go any further. Use little climber grips. Just hold right onto the traps. Start by the neck. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So 1 is close to the neck. 2 is in the middle, 3 is at the end, 2 in the middle, 1 back at the neck. Stepping around, use butterfly hands again. Yeah, feel free to move. Work your way back down. You come into downward dog. Again, being mindful of floating rib, low back area. Stack your hands on the sacrum, fingers up. Breathe. Come out. Where are you going to shake them? Our hands start around the sacrum. These aren't little piddly shakes. We're shaking her whole body. Say hello to the arm. Again, pressure, you'll feel kind of a line between muscle and bone here. Put the heel of your hand in it and roll it away. If you push straight down, it doesn't feel good. Gentle on elbows. Forearms can take quite a lot of pressure. Grip. This maneuver is called Chinook. Chinook? It's a lazy way of working on someone, and also uses our forearms. Using wrists and hands can get tiresome after a while. So you start palm down, below, above the ankle, above the knee, rock back and forth. As you rock, your palm turns over. Try not to keep too much tension in the wrist. If you're tensing your arms, they will feel it. So again, up and down 3 times. When you get to the end, you'll feel where hamstrings attach with your elbow. Pin it there. If your partner is very long, you might have trouble with this one. We will modify. Other elbow comes down to the heel. Opposite directions. Hello. Just with your leg. Slide down, bump the heel. Neurological reset.
Yeah, I was going to ask what the something really like.
Yep.
kind of-
Kind of like that when you drop the heels on the ground, right? You shake, shake, shake. Yeah, helps to reset. Good question. So, palms sit next to their leg. Quadricep stretch. You'll notice if you don't pin, see how her hip starts to go up? Yeah, crunching the low back. So, take your forearm, you're going to pin the glute, traction the glute and the low back towards the feet.
Right at the sacrum.
It's not at the sacrum. It is the iliac crest where the glutes attach there. So it's not all the way up in her back. That's gonna, because if I come up into her low back, I'm gonna be squishing down onto that bone and it's gonna hurt. So you come to the top of the glutes, traction down on the exhale. Again, we're gonna do 3. First is just feeling, where's her range? Second, we're pushing it a little bit further. Inhale, make space. Exhale further. And notice I'm curling her toes too. I'm using her foot as a handle. Because it's easy for me and it follows the whole leg line. If you hold here, stretch, stretch, donk. Hold the toes, continues the line. And it's easy. It's an easy hold. If you have someone super flexible, I'll show you what to do. I don't know that. Some of you might need it, some of you don't. Tree, we're gonna bring the leg out to the side. A-okay for hip to roll up, because a lot of people, I mean, very few people can lay on the floor with their foot like this, but make sure that foot is above the knee, unless they have a knee issue, and then we'll do it below the knee. We're gonna pin the foot against the leg with your supporting leg. The other foot comes to the outside of the hip. I've got her cradled, it feels nice. Reach around, grabbing quadricep, whoosh, lean, grab, lean, all the way down to the knee. Again, we're going to do 3 passes. So down, up, down. When we get to the knee, pause. Working the energy lines on the outside of the leg, starting with the thumb and the crease behind the ankle and behind the hip bone. And this again, just working energy lines is a soft pressure. Breathing it in. From there, we stand, our foot takes the place to lock her foot in there so she feels supported. She's not wiggling. From there, if you need something to balance on, grab a chair. We're gonna start again with the soft part of our foot. Heel is gonna be excruciating for most people. Leg fits nicely in the arch. So we're gonna work our way down the IT band. Again, rolling it away. It's more of a roll than a step straight down. Step straight down is gonna be out.
It's kind of like what to do.
Yeah, a little bit like close the door. Yep. So down, up. This one I go up again just to get back to the hip. All those places that everyone's really sore in their hip. Here we can use heel. Again, be mindful of where you are. You're on their butt. Don't go too close to the center. The outside is very good. The center is not so good. For right now, you can apply wonderful deep pressure here, especially using your heel. Straighten your leg, you can lean right in. I don't think for right now, let's just work on feeling the musculature with your heel rather than like really digging in there. Just checking things out. And remember, keep that rocking. After we do that, walking muscle, we scoot the knee in a little bit. Foot comes up. We're going to pin it with the other one. Again, this serves the function of holding the leg and also keeping the toes flexed to continue that line. So we're working on this little bit of a sideways line here. Anterior tib, you use all the time. Every time you flex your foot, you feel that sucker go. That's very rarely worked on. This feels really good. We're going to use our knee. Can I watch it? Press. Press. Again, my pressure is slightly towards her head and out towards her arm. Again, thinking, and you can feel with your hand beforehand, there's the hard bone in the front. We don't want to be kneeling down into that. Press the muscle away from the bone. After you've done 3, up, down, up, you can release. Continue that line on the outside of the foot. So it's kind of right in line with the second toe. Take the leg. You just pull. Give it a little shake. Yeah, give it a little shake down here too. Do you guys want to see the other side, or you want to do?
Yeah, let's do that. There's quite a bit in there.
Yep. So, sorry about the tush, you guys. We're gonna start with Sanuk. So using our forearms, land forearm side down, roll palm up.
We did something like this in the very first
Mhm.
day, right?
Yep. Yep, absolutely. And they do. There are a lot of different ways that you can. They use Sanuk all the time because these are great tools. They don't get tired. The other Sanuking where you're snuggled up under their leg is a little bit easier on your back, but it's much more personal because you're sitting in their crotch, which it's fun. It is what it is. But I find this, especially for newer people, is a lot more comfortable. So once you get up to the hamstring attachment, pin it down to the ankle. If you just lean in, your arms are automatically going to want to spread. That gives them the idea of their whole length of their body. Down, bonk the heel, press the foot. Come to their close side, or sit on the same side. Always nice to wiggle. Traction. Exhale, say hello. Exhale, go deeper.
If there's an issue in there, they jerk or something, so you know, like, oh, too far.
Yeah,
And,
most people, some people have really tight hamstrings and will stop like all the way out here, and it's a little tricky.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I injured my knee, so
Mhm.
just seeing that makes me nervous.
Okay.
I'm like, it's like, how can I? Is it better if I like tell whoever will work on me, like I have a knee injury, so when you do things on my knees, just be careful, or I can let you know how far to go.
Either way. So you can try this, see how it feels. You can also take a little bit of the knee range of motion. So the main function of this is quadriceps stretch and a little bit into the front of the hip. If you don't have the knee range of motion, we can make up that range of motion at the hip by, and this is what you do for flexible people too, that they can just put their foot to their butt, no
Mhm.
problem. You lift up, put the knee up on your thigh, again, traction, and that way, oh, Anna may start to feel it out here. She's like, no, I can go further. But you can see, you know, her back really wants to go immediately.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one of the ways you can ease the.
Would you put something also like between in the back of the knees, so where you're kind of
You could.
pressing?
You can if that feels nice. That pulls the knee joint a little bit more, so it ensures that the person can't go further. But if you're hitting both of those, then it's going to start to sort of pull the knee joint apart. I mean, if you think about, and if you put something in between and you start to pull it, it's going to go like that rather than like that. Does that make sense? So you can, if that makes you more comfortable, but talk to your practitioner. We are not, the people who are giving to you are not mind readers. We can read cues into your body. But if you have an injury, absolutely tell someone before they start working on you and communicate with them as they're working. Yeah, really good question. Thank you for bringing that up. It's going around and around. I'll come see to it in just a minute. Can you hang out with that for a sec? Thank you. Bring them into prone tree. Pin their foot as you kneel. This foot comes to the outside to support them there. 1, 2, 3. And this one can feel a little awkward at first, but especially when you get up in the hip, you can really feel where you can really grab onto the whole quadricep, and it feels really nice. Pause. Energy lines behind greater trochanter, behind lateral malleolus. Oh, you got it. Yeah.
I haven't watched this before.
Well, please don't watch something new. Watch something that you've watched already, yes?
I watched Clickety Clock, but it's not on here.
Okay. I'll come help you in a minute, okay? After we work the leg lines gently, we pin the foot using our foot. IT band. Again, you'll feel the greater trochanter where the hip meets the hip socket, kind of the glutes. Don't press on that, it hurts. Arch of the foot. Rolls IT band away.
I have watched it.
Yes, you can watch that. Into the glutes. And again, I'm keeping my pressure a little bit outward so I'm not pushing it up into her low back as much. Feeling where she plays. Shake, 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 shake. You release the foot. Bring the knee in a little bit so that foot crosses over the other leg. Other foot. Pins, usually it's right above the calf. Some bodies is slightly different. Kneeling on anterior tib. Push with knee, push with hand. One side, other side follows, right? Just like our Tai Chi at the beginning. Push and push. Push and push.
I have watched this.
Push and push. Right up into the ankle.
Hey, it turned.
Release. Top of the foot. Continue that line all the way to the second toe. Click the energy. After that, nice to finish. You can use balls of feet. It's softer. You can also turn. Try heels of feet right into
I
the
have
arches.
watched this.
Gently lifting your heels each time, moving a little bit. Here. Ready? Any questions before we start?
No matter which way they're headed.
Usually I have them flip halfway through. Not necessarily halfway through the lower body. Usually once I do lower body, I'll have them flip for upper body, then start on shoulders, have them flip head.
Okay.
Head tied into the shoulders when we're working up there. Good question. Yeah.
Can you walk?
And as a receiver, if you're uncomfortable, you know, if your head is getting stiff on one side, you move, they pause. Okay, good. Okay, what's up, Simone?
It's going around
It
here.
is going round and round. What would you like?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, so one person's receiving is lying face down. Oh, and one thing I mentioned to the group. Perfect. Oh, you're not focusing. That might be a problem. Okay, we're gonna lay down. Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's a really good point. So remind me your name again?
Eve.
Eve, thank you. So Eve said, I'm gonna laugh when you touch my feet. Fingertips are tickly, like touch some with your fingertips, you're tickling them.
Were you using the
Larger, yep, so I was using knuckles. Those sort of broader, duller surfaces are less ticklish. Sometimes I have people that are massively ticklish. And you going slower. Sometimes people start working really quickly. I get it on my ribs. People are working quickly on my back and it just tickles. So if you notice them like start to jiggle around and get ticklish, slow it down, use a wider pressure. All right. So connecting to your breath. And taking note of your partner's breath.
I'm actually toothless. Toothless.
Knuckles pressing into the feet. Boom, boom, boom. You start off right away trying to use your body weight. You're not pushing with your arms, you're leaning with your hips. Palm pressing up the back of the legs. Trying to use heel of hand in between the gastroc muscles, rolling the lateral gastroc outward. And again, shifting your hips to keep your weight over your arms. Your arms aren't doing much work. Pausing up behind the knees. Working up the hamstrings. Down and slightly out. Roll muscle off bone. Right up to sits bones and then back down. Work with your breath. And do 3 times. And side to side. Bum, bum. Bum, bum. And after you reach up to the top for the 3rd time, option to walk back down, or you can just grab legs and shake, 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 shake back down to the ankle. Whatever one comes sit on the left side of your partner, we'll work right leg first. So sit next to their left leg. And we're going to be facing their opposite leg. So we're going to be snooking the leg that's furthest away from us. It's one of the very few times we reach over a leg, which is why a lot of the times we start cradling the leg. Let's start with the forearm above the ankle and above the knee. Land palm side down. And roll palm up. Nice arm up. Land palm down. Alejandro, try to use more of the forearm. So you're actually going to be looking like a cross. Yeah. Yep. So one arm works the calf, one arm works the hamstring, back and forth. Trying to keep wrists and hands relaxed. Feels nicer for receiver. Let's sit out. Let's relax from one hand there. Yep, one hand above knee. Good. Nope, you're good. Try to relax the hands. Yep, land fan down. Oh, keep them relaxed.
Yeah.
And then roll. One then the other. So the motion is land, roll, land and roll, land and roll, land and roll. Yep, so you're landing on this fleshy part. It feels nice to start with. Working right up to the hamstring attachment.
So work this arm up.
Yep, work. So you'll work both arms up, and both arms down, both arms up. And next time you find your left elbow against the hamstring attachment up right under the glutes, pin it. If it works for your partner, use your forearm. If it doesn't, use your hands to stretch their leg line. This is how long your leg is. You can rock back and forth with the hamstring attachment hand. And then slide down, bump the heel, palm press the foot. Yeah. Yeah, feels you're lengthening it. Good. Good. And then you'll slide this arm down, bump the heel. Pressure again. Palm press the foot. Good. Nice. Come to sit next to their right leg facing their head. If their arm is in the way, move it or ask them to move it so that you're comfortable. Stretching the hamstring, grab underneath the right ankle. Start bringing their foot up. Your right forearm is going to pin their right glute. Traction it down away from their spine. Now that looks good. Now let's check in with breath. So inhale, you're gonna back off the foot slightly. Exhale, lean in. Inhale, backing off. Exhale, lean in. Alejandro, wrap your toes with your right hand. Or your left hand. Yep. Grab around. There your handle. Lovely. Release the foot, not all the way, keep it in your hand. And we're going to move their knee out to the side into tree. So you're going to scoot down around by their feet so that you're not straining. Lift their knee, swing it out to the side, bring their foot into their inner thigh. You're going to use your outside knee against their foot and then straddle their leg with that knee up. Good. Pulling the hamstrings, we're going to use our little claw talons, starting at the hip, grabbing onto the quadricep, and just leaning back.
Grabbing just from muscle. Well, we're not looking to hook like we do on the shoulder. Right?
Well, you do. You hook underneath the quadricep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So starting at the hip, once in the middle, inhale, release. Exhale, pull towards the knee. Work your way up. Middle. And remember, power's coming from your hips. Don't pull with your arms, lean with your hips. Good. Working the outside leg line. Bottom hand comes inside the ankle bone. Top hand is in just above the hip bone. So they're going to make an L when you, or a right angle when you come together. So thumbs are going to be pointing both towards the knees. Back and forth. So here you can feel she's got a line. Yep. So that's where your thumb lands. Yep. And this is just the energy line. So it's gentle touches, but you can feel the musculoskeletal sort of lines between the muscles and the bones, or muscles and muscles. Pausing both hands over the knee is nice.
So I think there a little bit of me small and watching her and it's just like
Okay, I'll come see about it in just a second. But I'm not doing it.
when I try to turn on loudness, it turns on loud.
Good. We're gonna stand up. Release your hand. The knee that was down, use that foot to pin their foot against their leg. Anna's got it. That's got it. Lovely. Good. Using your left leg, we're going to use the arch of your foot against their IT band. It's a gentle fall below the hip bone to the knee. Using the arch of your foot. Pressure is rolling away. Everyone looks pretty balanced. Anyone need a chair? Good. Good. You're gonna work the IT band down to the knee, back up to the hip, down to the knee, and then just shake the IT band with the sole of your foot.
I'm actually
and then we're gonna use our heel. And that's a valid question. If you don't know, just ask. People are happy to let you know.
Thank you.
Right?
Not past this point.
Yeah. And you should, and so that point is part of this. We're gonna use our heel to feel where the sacrum is. The sacrum is well on the side of the front crack. For the top portion. Middle portion, you do your thing. So using your heel, pressing into the glutes. And we're just feeling around. What do glutes feel like with our heel? How much can I sense? We're training our heels like we train our fingers to be really sensitive tools so that you can feel tightness in there. Try to make the pressure not straight towards their back. Try to angle it out slightly so that you're, again, trying to pull the bone, the muscle away from the bone. And glutes can take a bit of squishing into as well.
I feel like it would be very beneficial to do this with somebody you're intimate with first, because then you can back off after that,
But it's also a foot. And that's why it's kind of
That's
nice.
what's so
Like,
scary.
really? I
Okay.
feel like a foot is.
I don't think it's a violation of privacy. It's just hard to judge the pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You don't use your heel
Right.
much in this type of thing.
But why not? Isn't a heel a much better
Yes.
tool for glutes than our thumbs?
I mean, if you.
Yeah. And if you're not sure about pressure, ask.
I could have asked you a while ago,
Good. Stepping away, we're gonna work on the anterior tibialis. Come behind them, we're gonna scooch, lift their foot, scooch their knee in a couple of inches so that their foot is across their other leg, but still bent. Then use the other foot, the other leg to pin the first one. And it's gonna be lifted up a little bit. Everyone is in a little, oh, except for Todd, Todd's down. Lift it up, so it's gonna be above the calf. Yes, and that gives you the angle. Yep, so lift it up well, I guess that's distal, and that's why we use medical terms, because up and down change. Yeah, distal to the calf. Standing behind them, you're gonna hold the toes of their left foot. You're gonna put your left knee down on the ground, right knee up. Using your knee, and you can use your hand to feel where you're gonna push first if you're more comfortable with that. So you're gonna back up a bit, Todd. Because you're going to use this knee into this fleshy part of the leg. I was like, how am I gonna do that? And so you've got long arms. You don't need to hold that foot. Her leg is doing that job, right? You can. She's flexible. Yep. And instead of doing circles, circles hurt sometimes. Straight pressure.
We're doing them this.
Pressure.
Close. Tracy's got a good question. So feel. Here says tib, tibialis, feel that really sharp bone there?
Yeah.
So the muscle just on the other side of it. Thanks. We're rolling that away. So if you put your knee there, you were kind of getting up on top of his leg.
Yeah.
You can't, so Tracy had a question, can I use my hand? Yes, you can. Your thumbs will get tired. So if you're gonna use your hand, use a fist. Try to use a fist or the heel of your hand. Knee is a really easy, nice pressure though, and it's another tool that we can use in our toolbox.
Away. Right here.
So back up a little bit, Todd. Yep. So that your pressure is going to be this way.
Okay.
So put your knee there. And it's less on top than you think. Come back this way. Yeah. See that meaty part?
Sort of.
Sort of. Yeah. And it's all training, right? Just learning, we're exploring the body. Good. After you've done that, release the left foot, holding the right foot with your hand. Circles up the top of the foot. Continue the outer leg line of the tibialis through to the second toe. It'll feel a little cranky. Other side touch. So release that one because we were working on this side, right? So if the tibialis line comes here, starting inside the ankle.
This thumb.
Apparently be gentle there. Yep. And again, start out nice. There's no reason to crush your person until you know them well. And their bodies well. We're just exploring. Yep, all the way out to their second toe. When you get to the second toe, pinch it. Pull energy off of it. Sling it preferably off of them. Good. Pull their leg out. Shake it, shake it, shake. And it should sort of straighten by itself. If you just pull from the ankle, it will straighten itself. Awesome. Nice work, side one. Any questions from side one before we move on to the other side? All right. So come around, kneel by their right leg. We're gonna start with sanooking the left. Start with forearms palm side down, above the ankle, above the knee. Land with the squishy soft part of your forearm, then roll your hand pinky down. Land and roll. Land and roll. Yep. Avoid pressure directly behind the knee. Side to side. Try to keep limp, floppy wrists. Easy for you, feels easy for them. This part.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Next time your forearm finds its way underneath the sits bones where the hamstrings attach, pin that tendon using out forearm or a hand, traction the leg. This is the length of your leg. Good. Slide down, bonk the heel, press the foot. Awesome. Come to the left side of that. Switch sides so that you're sitting close. Quadricep stretch. Grab under ankles. Pin the glutes, traction towards foot. Hold on to their toes. Hmm? Yeah, she's so flexy. Let's see. Can you carry this down more? No, not move it down. Use it. Yep. Yeah. We're lengthening the low back, opening the front of the hip as we're stretching the quadriceps. Mhm. Good. Feel as though you're making room for the inhale, following the exhale. Probably hunger, even when you're pushing this arm, then pushing the low back down. Huh? Good, release. We're gonna do prone tree. Sit down closer between their legs as you move them out into tree pose. Foot against thigh. And some people, so I'm just seeing this, I didn't mention it. So if we look at Thomas here, his extended leg is coming out to the side. So he's coming past midline. So Tracy was right where she put his leg first. We're gonna come bring him right up here, but then bring that leg in. Now his leg, we're gonna roll you up a little bit more to bring that foot up a little bit higher so that it's not pressing against the inside of the knee.
This is the down knee, right?
Yes, correct. Yep. And let's see, I was gonna say, let's see if we can get her a foot all the way there. Oh, let's see. You're so flexible. Look at there. There, now. Yeah.
This is really the quad.
Yep, the quad pulling. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah. Starting at the hip, use your fingertips. Lean the hips back as you rotate the quadriceps
so
at the hip.
It's easier for you to pull.
Middle and knee. Work your way down, up, down. Pause at the knee. Just placing both palms, with both hands over their knee gives a nice warmth, really stabilizing. Working the outer leg line. Thumbs to hip bone and medial malleolus. Lateral outside. Pushing. And you'll feel the line working your way towards the knees. So use this part. See how that creates a nice line there? Yeah. So everybody, hold up your hands if you're not if you're receiving. Yep. Yep. So look at this, has a whole nice line there. So what we're trying to do is put that line. I see some of you kind of poking with thumbs. You're pointing towards the knee, starting here, starting there. It'll fall into these leg lines. That way you're getting, again, sort of that broader pressure. Yeah, so we're using the whole line.
Feedback.
Oh, good. Good. Again, don't push on the knee. Work your way up and down. Good. We're going to stand and pin their foot against their leg using our foot, left foot. Right foot closest to them is going to work the IT band. All right, Casey. So, yeah.
That's with the arch, right?
Yep, using the arch of your foot. Good question. Yep. Rolling it out. Rolling it.
Pressure.
Once you've done 3 passes, you should be down, up, down. Shake, 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 shake. Right, this can be painful for a lot of people. So a lot of people go and tighten up their hip. Shaking helps loosen it. You should be able to see their body jiggle. That might be a bit too vigorous shake. Using your right heel, exploring the glutes. Pressure is never jamming into the back. Out slightly to the side.
Feedback. New IT band.
It is.
Yeah. More so.
Good, release that pressure. We're gonna cross their left foot across midline to press the anterior tib. We're gonna hook that foot distal to the calf. Hold on to the right toe. That's your handle. Yep. Kneeling behind them, right knee down, left knee into anterior tib. Good. Pressure is kind of up towards the thigh, not down towards the ground. So you're a little too far on top, Todd. Again, I know, it's sneaky. Lean with the knee, push with the hand. Lean with the knee, push with the hand. So we're keeping our nice rhythm going. That's one of the big keys to keeping people relaxed as you're doing Thai massage, is keeping the rhythm. Good. Release their right leg, hold on to their left foot, work the top of the foot, continuing that line all the way through to the second toe. Pinch the toe, lick the energy. Hold on the ankle and heel to straighten the leg. Tracy, reach your right hand right over top and grab his ankle or his heel. Oh. Yeah, just to get your. Yeah. Good. You can give them a shake with of the legs. Then we're going to stand up. We're going to step on soles of feet. So check. Most people kind of naturally fall with toes in, heels out. If they're not, you might need to shake, encourage them a little bit. You don't want to force anything, but. Yeah, good. Let's start with using the balls of your feet.
I have the whole. You know what that is? No.
Work your way up, and if it feels good to you, it feels good to them. If it feels awkward for you, if it feels awkward for you, or like, ooh, I don't know, it might feel, ooh, I don't know, to them.
It's cool.
Rock that. Turn around, face away from their head, and step backwards onto their feet using your heels. Different experience. And try to keep heels into the fleshy part of the feet. Sometimes if you're stepping right on the toes, they just kind of get ground into the ground a little too much. And go back and forth, Todd. Make sure you're shifting your weight on and off the first. Don't squish too much.
This is hard.
It is. Now you know what you practice. You use it all over the place. Cool. Step off of that. And go brush your energy up against the wall. Receivers, enjoy. If you receive, start taking some deeper breaths. Make your way back into extended cat stretch or child's pose. And when you're ready, switch positions. When everyone is laying back down, then this is the- Yeah, one thing I do next, I don't tend to do a lot of talks, but anyway, definitely one way to use talks. So, if we come back up into that part, so roll your hip up. And see how it feels. Too much. Yeah, that was a little bit much. I feel. But you like it? Okay. Yeah, and that's A-okay. And you don't need to do that, but it's a little bit harder. I'll try to talk you through it just because then you don't have like that. Again, but we can figure out how to modify it. Yeah. Oh, you know what? There was like it there too. Oh. Yeah, that'll probably fit a lot better. Yeah. All right. So make a comfortable space for yourself between your partner's feet. Connect to your breath first. Think of the ocean. Your breath rising and falling. Then fall onto their feet with your knuckles. Nice as that. Rocking your hips, not just your arms. Power comes from hips. After a few passes on the feet, we'll move on to palm press up the leg. Using the base of your palm, walking up the calves, seeing if you can feel where the two heads of the calf muscle are. Go in between them and roll outward. Pause when you get to the back of the knee and hold. Again, nice warm palms against back of the knee, just feel supportive. Work your way up the thighs, rolling hamstrings outward. And Lou, lift your hips so that your weight is over your arms. It's easier for you.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Once you feel that attachment point, work your way back down. You can fold or gently circle the knee. Back down. Once you walk back up to the hamstring, we're doing 3 passes. And then you can either gently walk back down or shake, 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 shake all the way back down to the heel. Lovely. Come sit to the left of them, facing their right leg. Other side, Lou.
Oh.
All right. One of the few times you reach across the body, use your forearms, land palm side down, roll pinky side up. Starting below, above the ankle, above the knee. Rocking back and forth. One arm, 2 arms. So try reaching across. I know it's wrong, but see if you can reach across and do this thing. Just like, yeah, just like scooting closer. Yep, that way you're rolling out. Everyone check in with your wrists. They should be soft. Want me to work on you some more?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you do? Can you do?
Oh, I meant you want to lay down all the time and flash on you. Yeah. Okay, great. I'm gonna do what you do. I have to learn how to flip. Good. Once your left forearm finds the attachment of hamstrings, pin hamstrings against sits bones. Other elbow comes to the heel. If they're extra long, use the heel of your hand. Put their heel into your palm. Opposite direction. This is the length of your leg. Release the heel, slide the other arm down the leg, bump the heel, press the foot. Come to sit to the right side of them. For hamstring stretch. Hamstring stretch. Reface their head. Grab onto their toes. Use your forearm. Pin their hips. Drag your forearm towards your body as you traction their low back. Exhale. Curl the toes. Really grab onto her toes, Thomas. Yeah, wrap their toes. Good. Inhale, make space.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. A little bit.
And release. Come sit next to their other leg. Keep holding the foot. You swivel around. You sit next to their other leg. Hold their knee. Bring it out to the side. Good. Push against the inner thigh. Good. Pin the foot against the thigh using your knee. Other foot comes to the outside of them, supports their hip and their thigh. Pulling on the quadricep, use your little talons, start at the hip, rolling. Mid thigh, sit the hips back. Knee, sit the hips back. Work your way up and down. Top, middle, knee. Stimulating the outside energy lines. Hold up your hands. Find this whole blade of your thumb that goes from thumb tip all the way to the base of your palm. Place that, pointing at the knee. Other one from ankle up to the knee. Gentle pressure. Right? This is energetic, so it's subtle touch. When you get to the knee, pause. Place both hands over. Really. Stand. Pinning their foot with your foot. Their right leg, your right leg. Using the foot closest to them. Arch of your foot rolls IT band away. So you can ask Tracy Thomas, but it might be nice with less downward pressure, more rolling out. No, downward pressure is hard on the IT band. So it's almost like you're placing the IT band in your foot and rolling your heel into it, or moving your leg forward so that your heel pushes it away. Good. Do about 3 passes, down, up, down, and then shake, shake, shake. So use the arch of your foot. You're not really applying any pressure. You're just making sure they're wiggly jiggly. Good. Back up to the hip. We're going to step over the hip bone into the glutes and heel press. Again, we want our toes to be off to the side so that our pressure is going out rather than up. So Lou, use your heel for this part rather than the ball.
Okay.
Yep, but move your heel so that it's in the meat of her, no, not towards the center. Yep. Yeah.
That's good. You're getting the performance.
Macy, that is a good lean. Nice. Yeah. Macy's just, I always tell people this is a controlled fall onto someone else's body. Good. Good. You can shake them back down to their knee. And then come kneel next to them. Bring their knee in slightly to cross their foot over. When I have this slide, cross their foot over their leg. their toes distal to their opposite calf. Hold on to left toes. Using your right knee, you're going to press into anterior tibialis. If you're not sure where that is, use your hand first. Other leg loose.
Oh,
Yep.
again?
Yeah.
No, it's crossed the right way, but it's like the angle.
Oh.
Right where you just cut.
Yeah.
So it's actually,
Is it this one?
yep, it's this outside one. So can you feel here? Feel that bone? Yep. Roll up. Uh-huh. Yep. So that's where your knees. So it's not right on the top. So the tibia is right here. Feel that?
You got it.
And then if you could just roll right off of it, it feels a little like bone. So a little less down, back up. You're gonna push that way instead of, yes. That feels better, Trace? I can, yeah. So I kneel, and then, oh, here. Well, with his knee, maybe it's not so comfortable. With people that are having fun with that knee, I just hold it right there. Yep, yeah.
I mean, it definitely, it's so big too.
It's almost like you need to do that.
You want mine? Come on.
It's really good.
Okay.
It's like, it's like
Control, exactly.
yeah, that part.
Is that your fifth?
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Good? Now, I personally find it easier to hold so that you can use your body weight. Hold these toes with your hand, and you can have straight arm, just lean. And then even if you're using your arm, you can have straight arm or straight fist and just lean. That way you can lean your body weight into it a little bit more. Good. When you get back down to the ankle, release the left toes, holding the ankle of the right leg. Use your thumbs, little circles, continuing the outer leg line all the way to the second toe, massaging the top of the foot.
Oh, yeah. Good. What is it?
Huh?
Was it your knee or?
That was toe. Yeah, because it makes more sense because you have to kind of
Yeah.
block that
Pinch
foot.
the toe,
So I'm
pinch off of it, and fling the energy down away from them. Good. Holding their hand and holding their heel and their ankle in your hand. Just come back and pull their leg to straighten.
It's longer, Anna.
Give it a little shake, 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 shake. Come sit to their right side. Yep. And take a minute just to center yourself before we touch. Get on the right side. Yeah, you can, but not while I'm massaging. You can do movie or massage. Not both. Okay, let's go ahead. We'll do movie. We're gonna Chinook the leg that's crossed from you. Starting with the fleshy side, palm side down. Roll above the ankle, above the knee. Work your way up to just below the knee, just below the glute. Keeping soft hands. Land and roll. Land and roll. Here, that way you're not spreading yourself with the foot. Work both arms up and both arms down. Yep. And then roll. Once you get back up to the hamstring attachment underneath the sits bones, pin your right elbow against their sits bones, left elbow or left palm, traction with the leg. Say hello. Is this the length of this leg? Release the heel, slide the other arm down, bump it. Press the foot. This is a funny sensation. Good. Hop over to the other side for hamstring stretch. Holding the foot. Use the forearm to traction glutes away from spine. Here comes it to his side right here. And if you want to do your own thing, but try to get this arm to traction away from low back. Yeah, lengthen it. Yeah. Good. Inhale, making space. Exhale, curl the toes. So really, this arm, no, this arm is pushing into her low back.
Okay.
Do we like crunching low back?
No.
No. Yep, pin, pull it towards you. So hold on, re-rack a second. I want both knees facing her head. Yep, that way. When you land here, you just hug that arm towards yourself.
Okay.
Uh-huh, yes. Good. Pause for an inhale. Exhale. Good. Release that foot. Good. Come to sit by their extended leg. Move them out into tree. Right here, Tom. Make it hard.
You want to post under here?
Good.
Okay.
All right, so other knee down, Lou, we're gonna use, yep, other knee down. So we're gonna use knee to pin the foot.
Oh,
Yep,
Yeah.
foot to pin the hip. Good. Wrap around to reach their quadriceps. Exhale, pull back towards the hip. Mid quad. Down towards the knee. Go straight down, maybe. And then down towards the knee. This is slightly different. Good. So you have to kind of go back,
Yeah,
down.
there.
That's
Perfect. That part was great. Super.
How's it going? Good, good, okay. All right. Working the outside leg line. Make your thumbs into little L's. One underneath the hip, behind the hip bone. One behind lateral malleolus, the ankle bone. Side to side. And you're a little bit on top. So Lou is doing sort of hamstring gastroc, which are sort of the inside, these inside parts, so they would meet kind of here. Come right to the outside of the knee. I think this might be helpful for everyone. Right to the outside of the knee, just like you're drawing lines to the ankle bone and the hip bone. So it's more on top. So Lou, you can feel, there's a line right here. That's the line we're working.
Okay.
Yep. Good, good. Bring it back to the knee. On. Put both hands over top of it. Supporting that energy. And just hold. Nice. Stand up. Pin their foot against their leg using your foot. Using the arch of your right foot, rolling the IT band away. looks like you're putting a lot of pressure down on, like, right on top of the Viking pin, almost land behind it. Forward. That's a little bit rather than too far forward. Yeah. Lovely. Give them a shake, a shake, a shake, a shake, a shake. And rest if you need to. Loose up the side. Right? People forget to breathe in balancing poses. Take a breath, reset. Then we're going to work on glutes with the heel. Good. You kind of see? Yeah. All that kind of meaty part, we're going to push away. Push away. Not getting too close to the center. And not getting too close. Can you feel there's a bone down here? And that's going to hurt if you step on it. Yeah. Yeah. And if you get an oh, you could ask them, want me to hold it there? Once you get more practice, you'll know. But there's a lot of spots in the glutes that this feels wonderful on. The wide pressure plus the open hip and neck. Right there. Right there. Good. Shake their leg back down to the knee. Anterior tib, cross their foot across their leg. Bring it in a few inches. Bring the foot up. You're going to pin it distal to the calf. Make sure that you really hold on to it. But that way you have a lot of control of how much pressure the leg is getting. It kind of separates them, so you have that option to work individually.
Whatever you're doing, it.
Good. Once you get back up to the ankle, release the foot that you're holding. Hold on to the leg that you're bending, the left foot. Little circles on the top side of the foot, following the leg line down to the second toe. Pulling the energy off away from them. Hold on to the heel, pull their leg back straight, shake it, shake it, shake it. Stand up next, so then we're going to step with balls of feet onto their feet. Take a minute to establish your breath before you start, and then just like we did with Tai Chi, place one foot, pour the weight into it. Place another foot, pour the weight into it. Bum, bum. Yeah. Stepping right on the balls and right on the toes can sometimes hurt. But try to keep in the fleshy part. Step off. Turn around. And again, slowly, carefully, backing into the fleshy part of their feet, right into the arches of their heels. Stepping on the balls or the toes with heels will hurt. Stepping on our toes should feel good for both of you. Thomas, try turning toes in slightly. Yes. That way you're going with her anatomy. A little bit more. That's beautiful. So make your way off of your partner's toes. Go and clean yourself off. Clean the energy against walls. Receivers, just enjoy. Receivers, if you feel like it's time, start deepening your breath. Eventually push back into something nice, child's pose, extended cat. No, we're gonna keep them. Yeah, we did super in the past 2 days. So, but now we're gonna move on. We're gonna do a shoulder. Todd actually has some weird thing online. I want to know if it's I want to know if it's a thing. Yeah, I mean they're not. But yeah. As your partner comes back, we'll have about 2 minutes of chit chat to talk with your partner, get feedback before we move on to the upper back sequence. Powwow. That's really great. Yeah. Perfect.
No.
Did you like the water when you get away?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah. Start. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those.
Yeah, and you, I said, yeah.
It was putting
Maybe more.
I have huge, blood clots.
Right.
No, these are the last ones. Traps. No, yes. They're all just
Yeah, yeah.
you can dig into those. You can dig into those.
All right, let's go back to Matt. Tracy had volunteered very nicely to be my guinea pig the first time. All right, so you get it this time. So go ahead and lie down. Face down. Yep. And if your head was one way for legs, put it the other way for upper body.
Both ways.
It was both ways. Excellent. Good. So we finish the legs, make a shake up. We're gonna come back around to the head. Oh, actually, Tracy, can I have you turn around? I don't know if we're actually going, but.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
I was getting ready to
Say something.
potentially.
So they don't have much fish on camera too much.
All
right.
Right, yeah,
Good.
yeah.
So yeah, take a minute with your partner, connect to your breath. For me, it's comfortable to start in squat. Some people may be more comfortable to start in kneeling. Either way, straight arms fall, fall. And again, this time we're just getting the lay of the land. Easy does it around the floating ribs. If you're not sure where your rib cage ends, go ahead and feel it on yourself. As you work your way down, you can push on the top of the glutes. So you want to be on top of the glutes underneath the iliac crest. If you're pushing down into the iliac crest, your hip bones in the back really hurts. So I've widened my stance here. If it's too narrow, I'm going to fall off of her that way. If I'm coming here, I can get the line of pressure that I want. So you're going to go down the back, out the sides of the hips, back to the center, butterfly palms back up. If you have a particularly ticklish person, if your fingers are together, it's less tickly. Fewer tentacles. Walk yourself back as you walk back up. That was one down, two up. I changed my body angle because the angle of her body is changing. Here, press with the heels of your hands out to the edges of the shoulders. Don't apply pressure right on top of the bone. Heels of hands back into neck. This time, we have a better idea of what their body is like. I know that Tracy's can take more. If you are able, you can use forearms. It's like dolphin pose. You can lower your knees. Careful not to hit their head. As you come down, as you get towards the glutes, you'll transfer to hands again. Step your way back up. So we've done our 3 passes. To get back, we shake. Notice, we push all the way down to her heels.
And she's got a big smile on her face.
And she got a big smile on her face. Right here, It's really nice. You can cup their shoulder blades. We're going to be working a lot on shoulder blades here. Cup their shoulder blades, just sit back. It gives you a good idea of where their shoulders are. 2. 3. Walk out the arms. Nice energy all the way through the crown of the head. For shoulder blades, we're going to take their arm, rotate it palm down. We're going to lift under their wrist, under their shoulder, root your body right in so that you're supporting their upper arm against your leg. Like we've been pinning a lot with our forearm, we're going to pin above the elbow. That way, I can rock my hips. It pulls her arm out of the socket slightly. And this is just to make nice. Keep the nice wave going. It also, you can feel her shoulder blade, helps her shoulder blade slide off of her back slightly. If you're not familiar with the shape of the shoulder blade, take a minute and find its borders. It's a triangle, so you can see it comes down into a point here. Grab either side of it. And you can feel on the top where it turns into the trapezius. A lot of people have trouble with. So that's kind of the region that we're going to be working with. We're learning where the shoulder blade is. Also be mindful in some of the maneuvers. When you come into the center, there's not very much room between the shoulder blade and the spine. So consider what tool you're using there. You don't want to squish those. So we'll start using the blade side of our hand, of our palm. Traction, push, and just lean. Traction, lean. Pull and push. Make your way all the way along the medial border. You can come right underneath, push it up. And then in towards the armpit. We're going to roll down the back of the arm. Same Sanooking move. Land and roll. Land and roll. Keep it going all the way down the wrist, out fingers. So we warmed it up. We kind of learned where it was with our hands because most of us are used to using our hands. Now we can use forearm. We're going to use elbow pressured back down. I'm not using the tip of my elbow. It's more the back of the elbow because that's how her anatomy works. That's where we want to be pulling that down and back. So, pull, pull, and then we pull arm, land in between. And start off gently. Land in between. Again, just working along the medial border. This time you can use a little bit of the rolling along the lats. Land and roll. That's a smaller range. Down the back of the arm. All the way down. So we made nice, we went deeper, now we make nice again. This is just a lighter pressure. And this, I'm almost using my forearm to move the shoulder blade rather than to push into the muscles. Then lots of people forget we have muscles on the top of our shoulder blade. So because they're very little muscles and it is bony, if you hit the wrong part with a big, hard, bony part of your body, it's going to really hurt. So it's one of the few places that a small tool is useful. So we're going to go on right on the superior to the shoulder blade. And you can feel infraspinatus. No, serratus are more in the middle.
Okay.
This is more infraspinatus.
Okay.
There's one more in there that I'm just blanking on. But you can feel the scapula has a little spine. So it's like a little triangle. And then there's a bone or a bony protuberance that runs out of it a little towards the top. There are a bunch of muscles underneath that work a bunch of external rotators
Right.
that hurt a lot of people.
Yeah.
So don't go too hard on these. We're mostly just feeling. You'll feel some ropes in there. If you feel a rope, you can hang out on it. Again, let them breathe into you.
They have like a whole jungle the other day.
Yeah. Good. After you've felt around the top of the shoulder blade, then you roll back down the arm, right? Again, we're releasing energy. We're making sure it has somewhere to go. We don't want it to just stagnate in there. So we've released some of those muscles. Now, we're going to check out range of motion. And bring hand behind back. And you can ask them. Sometimes it's a little bit funny to bring someone's hand behind their back. You can ask them to bring it, but think of yourself. You're going to come palm up and then supporting underneath the shoulder. Pause for the inhale. Arm up the back. Think of in the Santosha level 1 flow, we do arm up, look up, arm down, gaze down, arm down, right? Eventually it comes to the back of the neck. Good. We release that. As we come overhead, her arm spins, palm down. Oh, she is lovely and easy. Dudes in particular make this hard. We're going to reach hand behind the head. One hand is underneath their hand. One hand is supporting their elbow. Oh, lovely. Bring it back. This is one of my favorites. Hold on underneath their arm. Right, ragdoll for the arm. Then circles. Whoosh. Whoosh. Good. That's this side. Now we do the other. Good. Tracy did it automatically. Switch head. It'll feel really awkward if their head is on the wrong side. Shimmy up right close to them. Pin their tricep with your forearm. Rock a few times. 3. Blade of hand. Pull and push. Pull and push. And again, this isn't deep pressure. This is more so that I can feel where is her shoulder blade. Sometimes you can notice things right off the bat. Forearm to neck roll, down the back of the arm, push forearm. Swing it. This time, using your forearm Again, keep a floppy wrist. Floppy wrists feel good. And the angle of your pressure is going to change as you work your way around the shoulder blade, because it moves. It's one of these really tricky joints. Moves in all 4 directions. And then everything in between. Your pressure has to change. Very good. Making nice. And the hand underneath the shoulder always tries to go in the opposite direction. So just like in yoga, how we have pose, counter pose, we kind of have pressure, counter pressure happening with the shoulder blade. Because we're really working, if you have tight muscles in your shoulder, you're gonna have limited range of motion. Oh, I forgot. You almost forgot the best part. Muscles on top of the shoulder blade. So you can use one hand to really feel. This is her shoulder blade, the spine of her shoulder blade. So I'm not pushing on the bone. The meaty part's right on top. Oh, Tracy. And once you have a good idea, you can use thumbs. Ask your partner if it's feeling too pokey. You can absolutely use heel of the hand too. Thumbs are a little bit, they're more precise for more precise work. And again, even if I'm holding, I'm rocking. Rock and shake helps to release. Roll. Get the energy of half out of there. Arm behind back, palm comes up. And here my hand is resting on her. If you lift her arm up, her hand up too much, it's uncomfortable in a different way. And once you find that point, try to take about 3 breaths to see how far up the back it will go, and then let her breathe into it for about 3 breaths. Release. Spin the arm just like we do. We're going to be palm down. We'll hold her hand, hold under elbow. When I have bent arms, I try to make sure that I'm supporting them somehow so that I'm not muscling it. Again, using hips. Release. Hold the elbow. Zoop. Then we're going to come back to the head. We're just going to push opposite sides. Start sliding both hands down. One hand comes to shoulder blade, one hand opposite hip. And again, it's that sort of fleshy part of the shoulder blade, not holding onto a bone. Swap. When you finish, just let the energy come up. Your turn. Tracy, take a minute. Yeah. All right. You lost a partner? All right, so one person laying face down on the mat.
Oh, those are so very good. I think I just need to book a session with you.
I'm just gonna spend the whole hour on those nasty ropes. The jungle gym. That's so much more playful. I like that.
Yeah, I was wondering.
All right. Oh,
Sorry, then we can actually.
We can have.
did you lose a partner too, Tracy?
I bet you should.
Yeah.
Who was sitting by me? Was that you?
Well, as we're here, you can start working with Todd if you want.
I know. You to work on.
Everyone. We'll start off by heads. Good. Connecting with your breath. Connecting with your partner. Starting at the shoulders, compress your way down the spine. All of those spinal erectors you use when we're doing cobra, when we're standing, when we're carrying grocery bags. Gentle on the lower ribs. And work your way all the way up onto the upper glutes. So you're gonna hop over the iliac crest, the hip bones that come up the back, and push the glutes back down towards the butt. Walk along the sides of those, out towards the hips, and back towards the center, and back up the spine. Tracy, would you feel more stable if you lifted one foot up? Or come into downward dog as another option, especially for that second pass where you've learned a little bit of their body. You want to receive or do? You have to do both. Up to you. Next time you come to the shoulders, if you're comfortable compressing and that feels good, great. If you'd like to play with the forearms, you can try forearms. Think of dolphin pose. Again, land palm down. When you get to the glutes, Tracy, then you'll switch to your hands so that you're tractioning away from the spine. Yep, good. Nice, Lou. Very good. And then, yep, since your hands are there, then they start, and that looks like it's on her bone. Does it feel like it's on her bone? Yep, come down into the fleshy bit. Side to side. Side to side. Good. Work your way back down to the glute. And when you get there,
Okay.
You can pause, stack hands.
Like, probably pretty boring. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Circles. Shake 'em. Walk your way out to the outer shoulders. Hold on their laps where their shoulder blades meet their armpits. Yep, use your little hooks. Grab a handle, pull. Just sit your hips back. Inhale, make space. Exhale, lean back.
Yeah.
Inhale. Exhale. Good. Walk your way down their arm. I come to kneel overheads. The only way I can reach long arms without straining my back. Slide fingers back up. Energy out through the top of the head. Shoulders. Come to sit by right shoulder. Pick up their hand at the wrist. Rotate their arm, palm down. Scoop the other hand underneath their shoulder to lift their chest up off the ground. Makes a space for you to slide your thighs underneath. You're right up against the side of their body. Their arm is resting on your thighs. Pin their arm, the back of their arm above their elbow using your forearm, and just rock a few times. Feel if you've got it pinned. Yep. Sit your heels to the side. And Alejandro, if this hurts your knees, you can also sit legs out. That's fine. I find it a little bit harder to rock there, but if it's better on your knees, do that. Use the blade side of your hand closest to them to feel where their shoulder blade is. All the way down to the tip. And then using more of the heel of your hand, work your way up into the armpit. We're using lots of parts of hands. Forearm, land and roll down the back of the arm. Land and roll. Press out through their forearm, out through fingertips. Then keep your rocking going. We're going to use forearm and elbow, starting at the top of the traps to push down towards their feet. As you work your way around, you'll start moving your pressure towards their hand. And then it comes towards their armpit. Working your way around, it's going to gradually come up towards their head. Think of how the shoulder blade naturally wants to move. Use your forearm to roll the lats up into the armpit, down the back of the tricep as the forearm rolls. Keep your wrist loose. Land with the soft part of your arm. Roll them all the way down the arm. Energy out. One more time with that. Exhale, you land. But after you've finished that time, rest hands on back, find the meaty part of the shoulder. You can grab on to feel the borders of the scapula so that you kind of know where you're pushing. See if you can find that. See if you can find the medial border with your finger, lateral border with your thumbs, and see if you can use your other fingertips to feel the spine of the scapula up top. Anytime you hop inside of that, you find this nice fleshy bit. Not very big, even on Big Thomas. Like 2 inches by 2 inches. Explore in there. Falling on the exhale. If you find a particularly ropey part, you can gently hold it. Keep rocking if you keep rocking your hips, that kind of lets their body apply pressure against your fingers. It's less work for you. Make them do it. Good. Big circles of the shoulder blade. Work your way back down the arm. Create a path for that energy to escape. We don't need you. Who is it? Thank you, Shiva? Sister? Bring palm up by their side. Support under their upper arm, under their wrist. Bring arm behind them. Try to bring hand up the back. Three breaths to explore range, and then 3 breaths, breathe into it. Even when they're breathing into it, try to keep a slight motion, just like you want in your yoga poses. Release the arm. As you bring it overhead, you'll rotate palm down. Good. Hold underneath their hand, underneath upper arm, elbow. We're going to bend and try to send their hand down their back. Think both parts of, what is it, cow face? Cow face and pose? Yeah.
I didn't know.
Release the hand. Hold on either side of the elbow. And drag it back around. Boom. Shake their arm. Circle their shoulder blade. Hey, this is what we just worked on. Just shake them down their sides, right? We worked on lats. They attach to the low back. You can bring the energy all the way up there. Awesome.